Good day YouTube, Sketchblitz Gaming here. Welcome back to my channel, and I want to talk about something that happened that's pretty serious actually. I was recently watching Digimon Ghost Game, and the very worst possible scenario actually took place. Let's get right into the video. I'm going to actually show the actual episode here in the form of a reaction video so it's not taken down. Things are sped up at twice the rate, but it turns out that my theory regarding Dragomon was actually correct. He actually does form from a virus that had attacked ships and driven them off course, and as we can see here, he's literally driving people insane. You probably don't realize that at first because it just happened so fast, but that's him, that entire silhouette. If you don't know, Dragomon is about the size of a mountain every single time that he's shown in the show, almost without exception. The only exception is in Digicross Wars. But the main issue here is not necessarily Dragomon this episode. The main issue is why he's here. Because as you can see, Digimon have been showing up all across the world, and it's been going out of hand. It's been quite out of hand. No one knows what's going on, and yet the fact is that things took a sudden turn for the worse. Hiro and his friend decided to go for a fishing trip, and it turns out that their boat was actually driven off course by Dragomon himself. As a Digimon that formed from a virus that messes up boats, he messed it up merely by being in the vicinity of the area around them. So, as things escalated, they find out that they have to take a different boat home that is late, and the people are actually possessed and trying to, in some way or another, either get rid of them, eliminate them, or convert them. But regardless, this episode confirms something that I had only theorized. Not only is Dragomon directly involved in every Digimon that's involved in Ghost Game and why they're in the human world, he's also not the main cause of why. Because Dragomon, of all Digimon, he wouldn't summon himself to the human world, he summons other people to him. But as things progress, something seems to be happening in the digital world that's really bizarre. This special ability that Hiro summons that he doesn't seem to have before, this barrier, that's not a new ability. That's actually the digital world simulation that his Digivice is able to use. So my current theory is that that portal, that barrier, allows him to actually create a kind of digital computer similar to the ones that viruses are ran on whenever people want to see what a program would actually do if they downloaded, but don't want to download it to their computer. So whenever there's a virus Digimon or whatnot, that is a special Digimon, I forgot what it's called, Digimon Tamer ability that allows them to defeat a massive virus Digimon without them damaging the real world. But why is that? Why was this ability given to them, and how in the world is it that these are the only guys who have it? It's a question that's not answered, but a question that is answered is that virus Digimon, or the virus itself, is spreading throughout. So, as things continue to go on, Dragomon, which I should mention is only an ultimate level Digimon, not the strongest type, has literally taken over the entire city of Digimon. Well, it is a city of Digimon, honestly, but it's a city built by people. So, these guys have no clue what's going on. Throughout this entire season, Homeostasis has not informed them about being chosen or digidestined or anything. They are not chosen at all for saving the digital world. If anything, it seems more like everyone's trying to make a mad break to escape. The Digimon that are in this episode mentioned that they actually heard a voice that was calling them to run. It's not really stated who exactly, but as you can see here with Dragomon's ability to going to pause that right there before anything special happens that's copywritten. But Dragomon has the ability to speak to people telepathically. This is actually disturbing power for an ultimate level, but even more disturbingly, as the episode progresses, Hiro is the only person who's attacked, him and Gammamon. Really can be seen here, not even, like, look at Jellymon even. She is legit grabbing this person along with, I forgot his name. but they're completely ignoring them. So these guys grow gills. It's not really said how or why. It's just one of Dragomon's special abilities. Like, he turns people to his underlings, and apparently he doesn't have a reason, but it's at this moment, and I'm going to slow this down just so the sheer gravity can be seen. And Gammamon, who is like a Digimon guru of this season, sees the silhouette of Dragomon. And for those of you who are not aware, the silhouette of Dragomon is a death sentence. It does not matter what level the Digimon is or how powerful they are or where they've been. It's literally stated in the wiki and the games and the data that to just see Dragomon means that you are literally ripped out of the world that you came from, and you are drowned in despair of wondering if you'll ever be able to come back. So as we see here, Dragomon summons all of these mutated humans to go and attack Hiro and Gammamon, but it's never really stated why. If anything, it's more like he says, "You will not have it. You will not have it." It's never really stated what exactly. But as we can see here, Wisemon is attacking the fog, and this is one of Dragomon's many abilities that I had mentioned earlier. His abilities are not stated properly on the wiki. He has reality bending powers that allow him to turn any attack against him. It's like he creates a portal out of fog or an entire dimension, and anything that tries to get in without his dimension, well, without his permission, is reflected, and it does not matter what it is. So as they're approaching, they're trying to figure out what this is, and notice how even though they are flying as fast as possible, that's like over 100 miles per hour, this guy does not look like he's getting any smaller or like he's approaching any faster. He is almost a fifth the size of Millenniumon in the 2020 reboot. And Digimon are not supposed to be that large. They can be, but the only way that they are is if they eat so much data that they're almost impossible to actually fight. So here we can see that Thetismon, an ultimate level, launches an attack frame per frame. It goes in the fog, comes out, and hits Lamortmon straight in the face, knocks him back, and then she gets impaled, almost literally poked by the spear, as if, like, I don't know, I guess Dragomon has some politeness because she was distracted or something, or because she's a girl, I don't know. He's a corrupted priest Digimon, so there's no way to actually ascertain what it is he's thinking unless he states it, because his thoughts are so twisted and so out of the norm of Digimon. But he goes full Genjutsu, full hentai, full whatever this is, almost full metal alchemist, and basically traps them in a hallucination that I believe actually is dealing damage to them. But I still forgot the name of this Digimon. He manages to snap them out of it. Fun fact about this little cameo here, this is actually in reference to the origin of Dragomon, which is around a game. I believe it's luck-based or whatever in Japan, but it revolves around dealing with the Cthulhu, which he is based off of, so that's interesting. But for the most part, Wisemon manages to release an energy ball that's capable of destroying the magic influence. And this was the most shocking part of the episode, because right here we see that this was not actually Dragomon. They're not actually dealing any damage to him. Dragomon's mere presence, its mere projection of itself, was dealing near lethal damage to them. And yet it's not even there once it's gone. So all of the ships, and you'll probably notice this, but there are a ton of ships in the area around these waves that Dragomon has steered off course to come towards him. The virus that I thought might be in charge of the Black Digimon that Dragomon came from seems to be influencing them to be here exactly, and it can't be confirmed what exactly the virus is. It's only stated that a virus is what Dragomon originated from. So there's no guarantee that it's the same virus, but the fact is that viruses behave differently in Digimon. Viruses can come to life. Viruses can be used by Digimon, or viruses can use Digimon in this case. And what happens here is what's almost the end of all of the main characters. This right here is the death sentence. This is him actually physically showing up. If he's seen, if he's actually discovered or seen by eyes, he's destroyed. That's it. There's no joke about it. The wiki about Digimon in the descriptions does not joke about that. It's not a Pokédex, things are not exaggerated. He almost just wiped them out. But something happened that actually distracted him and caused him to go berserk instead of removing them and ripping them from reality. As you can see, he actually turns pitch black. This is the virus. Clearly, Dragomon have formed from a virus, but it appears that either the original virus is taking control of he himself this time, like he did with the Divermon in Digimon Season 2, or the virus has actually infected him. But there's something I want to point out here. It's been theorized that this guy, Gammamon, Wisemon, whether it's in the form of Galus Gammamon or Regalus Gammamon or Arcturusmon, is in charge of the virus. And I'd just like to say that's impossible, because the entire season, Gammamon has been outside of the digital world. This guy got right here, and he had to have been infected before he even showed up. He did not make physical contact at all with Gammamon, Wisemon, or any other kind or any other form he has. They have not touched him. He has not infected him. He was underwater this entire time. So Wisemon can be seen here being infected with what appears to be the same virus. And the reason I'm saying that it's the same virus is because once this guy uses his telekinetic call, his abilities are actually boosted. So it seems that being re-exposed to the virus supercharged his powers, and it also almost caused Wisemon to awaken to a dark digivolution. However, it can be inferred by what happens here and seeing as how the virus disintegrates that it actually appears that Wisemon is an antivirus Digimon. He seems to have an antivirus program that was put into him by Hiro's father or something. I don't know how exactly, but the fact is Gammamon seems to be the anti-equation of whatever's posing a threat to the digital world, which is why he's able to come back from being corrupted into Galus Gammamon every single time. But the ultimate Digivolution timers run out. I don't know why it applies to them exactly, but this guy pulls out his trident, and as it's actually found out, this guy he can take any form he wants. It's just that he chooses to be in human form. His actual form is as a literal horrific mollusk. But here we can see his ultimate level attack against, I forgot the name of this guy actually. It's no match for a mega level assault. So he gets knocked down, but he is not actually destroyed. And this is where the type advantage of Digimon comes into massive play. I want to point something out here that is not easily understood by the fandom. Just because a Digimon is a mega level does not mean that it is more powerful than an ultimate level. There are many mega level Digimon that cannot hurt an ultimate level like Millenniumon, or in some cases even a Digimon like Belphamon in its child mode cannot be hurt by mega levels anywhere near easily. But in this case here we see with the mollusk form that it has taken its original shape. It is not scratched, it is not phased at all by what just happened. It took that hit and it decided to go and take the hero seriously instead. So what we see here is actually its true form. This is not the virus taking over. This is Dragomon taking things seriously with using the virus as his power. So this is its horrific mollusk form, its actual formless state that's stated in the wiki. And I have to say, I'm glad I'm probably not going to have nightmares about this, but there was no way they were going to handle this. This small part, this clip right here, proves my theory. Dragomon really was, in spite of being an ultimate level, one of the main causes of Ghost Game and why every Digimon was brought to the digital world, because in some way or another they encountered him or he was about to infect them. I primarily think that those tentacles, like any octopus or squid, are for latching onto anything and absorbing their data to make himself stronger, but he didn't get the opportunity here. Clearly he's done it with several Digimon because he's super massive, but a portal suddenly opens up and he's sucked back into the digital world. If you can see right here, he's not actually behaving any differently. The virus that infects Digimon this season is thought to drive them out of control, but he's clearly still masterminding this and still in full power and control of himself. He's not behaving any differently, which means that he already had the virus inside of him or he was immune to it, and it's most likely the first one. But this is where things take a turn for the worst, and I would not blame 90% of the fandom if they do not know what's going on, because Digimon do not explain this. This right here, this failsafe to save Hiro and the others that his father seems to have activated, this is what doomed the digital world. You probably don't understand what's going on. This probably sounds ridiculous, but this guy is actually the pre-digivolution to one of the most powerful Demon Lord Digimons in existence in any multiverse of Digimon to ever exist. And the name of that Digimon is dreadfully LEVIAMON. So here we can see that a mega level Cthulhumon, I believe, as opposed to Cthulhumon, which is Dragomon's Japanese name, he's actually coming back with Black Gatomon, and it is assumable that Cthulhumon had helped Black Gatomon, since it's only champion level, to open that portal using its dark power, and the Divermon go to help bring the people out of the water. But in any case, this seems to have been entirely anticipated, because what Hiro's father does is that he apparently sends himself this time, along with a terrier with a very interesting marking. I made sure to look this up, and I did not actually see this marking among any of the Demon Lord Digimon. It's not stated what it is, but clearly it's very important. So Hiro's father shows up, and he gets the long since awaited karma of leaving his son alone to go exploring in the digital world with that happy-go-lucky expression. His son literally just dealt with a multiversal threat, Z Millenniumon, without his father there to help him. So I'd say that tripping those few feet was very well deserved, but Gammamon most notably knows Hiro's father. And that's actually quite curious, to be honest, because it means they've already met somehow before. But what also is important is that this guy, and I still don't remember his name, I actually like his design, I just can't for the life of me remember. He's actually mad that Hiro's father had said that he is the spitting image of him. So this whole time, the whole real Hiro theory was because his father was not descriptive enough, and the Digimon following or trying to find the real Hiro was not properly, he was too literal. But in any case, here we see Gammamon about to go into a spiel, or rather a anecdote, whatever, a saying like he always says at the end of each episode. Airdramon is circling above, but something goes wrong, and this is the end of the digital world. This is the first time it's happened in the series. It is the legitimate end. The entire internet crashes, the network error, all of the holograms are over, the intro itself literally shuts down, and the world appears to be blacking out. So everything is pitch black, and it's thought, perhaps, that maybe this is Arcturusmon. But that's not the case, because Gammamon has not digivolved to Arcturusmon. He cannot be behind this. This is actually the work of Dragomon. This is the work of the very same Dragomon that we just saw earlier. The one that was about to go and release its true form. As we saw here, after it had absorbed the virus, it actually gained a massive boost in power. And that is what allowed it to, what I theorize is digivolve to its mega level form. A mega darkness demon lord that is actually far more powerful than Lilithmon. far more powerful than Lucamon, almost on par with Millenniumon, and very much stronger than Quartzmon. And I'm not kidding when I say stronger than a world-destroying threat like Quartzmon. LEVIAMON, the final digivolution of this guy, is actually powerful enough to break the entire digital world between its fangs. That does not mean that it's the same size as this guy. As we all know, Digimon tend to get larger whenever they digivolve. This is an ultimate level. If we're going by the ratio of Kenowisemon here, he would digivolve again into the same size as Cthulhumon if he had the same aspect of darkness or virus ratio or power ratio. So LEVIAMON is 20 times larger than this. Let that sink in for a moment. LEVIAMON's actual state is 20 times larger, but we won't be able to see its form. The reason for this, and I know this might be confusing, is because LEVIAMON's form, as far as been studied across the dimensions, has been thought of as limitless. As the truths of Digimon are repeatedly uncovered, LEVIAMON is actually said to have almost limitless existence, literally in the wiki saying, however, as the existence of the limits of Digimon are decoded, its own appears to be similar to nothingness. It's said to build the foundation of existence of wickedness in the digital world, and its special moves are destroying everything with its gigantic jaws. As I said before, this wiki does not exaggerate, the Digimon games do not exaggerate Digimon's power. The reason that digital worlds exist still is because this Digimon did not. This Digimon's very existence would mean the destruction of an entire digital world. It just wouldn't be automatic like it would be with Millenniumon. And it would also be a deep sea Digimon. But for the worst part, and for the most part, this thing is very likely, it does evolve from Dragomon or Dragomon, however you say it. It's said both ways, honestly. I looked it up. But this thing is an absolute world-ending menace, and apparently only angel Digimon are powerful enough to make it want to stay down in the seas of the digital world in the net ocean. However, it does have the ability to make other demon lords, the other most powerful darkness demon Digimon, who are multiversal threats, to actually flee from it. This thing, if this is what Dragomon digivolves into, if this is what we're facing in the next episode, it will explain why evil is constantly forming in the human world and why Digimon are so confused. Because this guy, every Digimon carries a cognito effect with them. They are essentially cognito hazards in the form of 7 deadly sins. And this guy's most dangerous cognito hazard is actually envy. LEVIAMON's power, and I'm going to look this back over again, its actual power is essentially envy. This guy is a menace. And the reason why Digimon continuously show up envying humans and going mad from their envy is because LEVIAMON actually has probably driven them to that state. Fact is that no matter which way it's built up or how it's addressed or focused on, this Digimon cannot be allowed to exist without the rest of the digital world being wiped out. And the truth is, the digital world most likely was not destroyed, because it's been revealed that the main characters will be moving to it in the next season. What this most likely is a server crash. The digital world most likely actually crashed because of a virus outbreak. In the case of most viruses, Digimon are actually made from viruses, and then vaccine Digimon are made to defeat them as a way of weakening the virus, or Digimon create the virus and the virus is stopped by defeating the Digimon that controls it. But in this case, when the virus is the Digimon, and when the virus is able to exist in another dimension, like Dragomon did here, separate from the digital world, he cannot be defeated fast enough for the virus to be destroyed. So Dragomon's virus, the same virus that's influencing Gammamon, was undefeatable because Dragomon, who was controlling it, could not be encountered. He lives in his own separate pocket dimension, which means that he cannot be physically attacked unless there is another Dragomon to literally bring them to his realm, which is just counterintuitive. Like, nobody escapes from the Dark Ocean after going there. Ken and Kari may have gone to the Dark Ocean, but they did not go into it. And if they had gone into it, they would never have come out. That's the actual fact about the dangers of the Dark Ocean. So, as we can see here, it seems to be implied that Wisemon or Gammamon very well is the antivirus to this guy. Because something that I theorize is that his attacks only managed to destroy the illusion of Dragomon because of the antivirus compounds that make up Gammamon. I theorize that the reason Gammamon was brought to the human world is because Hiro's father in some way had either discovered a way to defeat this evil or problem through him, or that Gammamon was either built for it or was too important to risk being corrupted or infected, and he needed guidance. But in any case, I don't think that Gammamon is the source of the virus or a carrier who was not aware of it. I think rather he already had the virus in him as part of himself, which is why he's able to probably resist and become immune to it, similar to how X-Evolution Digimon can resist the X virus and survive it, even though it would also be within them. But this was a crazy episode, and it's very likely that in the next one, we will not see LEVIAMON. LEVIAMON is a formless entity. It is a Digimon that cannot physically exist, or it's, as stated, the existence and the limits on this Digimon are similar to nothing. There is no state this Digimon can be forced to manifest in. It can be in any shape, any form, any type it wants. It doesn't even have to actually physically exist. It can just be made up of the evils that people commit. It seems to feed directly on the evils that people engage in, and the Digimon in Digimon Ghost Game engage directly in said evil for the entire season. It might be evil as a form of insanity or despair after encountering Dragomon and being ripped out of their world per his details of what he's capable of, but it's still evil nonetheless. And clearly, Dragomon has been feeding on this until now he's too powerful to defeat. So instead of defeating them, they had to move him back to the digital world. And it seems, unfortunately, he is digivolved to a Mega Darkness Demon Lord Digimon. This is not him being defeated, and this is probably not the last we'll actually see of him. We'll just have to wait and see in the next episode how things go, because this is not good. This is not good at all. This is the first time a digital world has been destroyed, and it's probably not going to be the last one. But they went hard on this, and chances are that they're going to stay going hard on this. This is not over by a long shot. And if this is the only season of Ghost Game, then unfortunately that means that the universe may actually have been destroyed, because the only options they have left, as seen in the preview, is probably using Moon Millenniumon as a nuke to actually wipe out Dragomon, and then somehow finding a way to purify Moon Millenniumon's soul, because he can't be destroyed himself either. They now have a Darkness Demon Lord and a multiversal Darkness Digimon God that is trying to destroy Yggdrasil in the same dimension. This universe is screwed. But in any case, hopefully they find a way to solve this. Arcturusmon cannot solve this, and he cannot be the cause of this either. There's no way. He does not physically exist yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.